What's up? What's up? What's up? The boys are back in the building. We have Beat the Spread, Slam the Bookie, Dead Press Picks, and your one and only analytics capper. What is up, Bet Karma Nation? Beat the Spread. How was your weekend, bro?
It was great, man. Got to watch some football. Yeah, it was pretty fun. Some underdogs hit. Yeah, that was nice. Minnesota college basketball team. We are 7-0. We beat Mississippi State. Loved that. So good weekend for me.
There you go. Slam, how about you, my guy?
Good weekend, man. Just got back in town. But man, ready to win some money. Ready to have a good week.
Slam is always traveling the globe, guys. If you didn't know that, now you know. Dead Prez, what about you, man?
Great weekend, brother. Just happy to get back with the boys and chop it up for some college basketball.
Yes, college basketball. We do this a few times a week. Everybody, check out the best website in the world, Bet Karma Nation. You'll get all the betting tools you need right there on the screen. That is beautiful. You get all the props. You get all the comparisons with all the different books there. I use it all the time. And also, everybody, pat ourselves on the back. We hit 5,000 YouTube subscribers, but you can still enter right now. If you hit subscribe on our YouTube page, you get a free month of Bet Karma VIP membership. So definitely do that as well. All right, let's get into some of the games from, this weekend here. I'll start with Slam. What was the game that you kind of focused on, and did it turn out okay for you?
Man, I watched a couple games. I didn't have too many plays this weekend, just because there's a lot of like football and stuff. But yeah, I mean, like Andy said, I watched the Minnesota game. That was a great game. Sometimes these double digits like dogs have just been hitting and winning outright. It's been kind of crazy. But yeah, not too much action for me, man. I like to kind of wait maybe another week or two, and I'm gonna start hammering more college basketball here.
All right. I think I wanted to highlight this, Beat the Spread. It was an awesome, weekend of college basketball, but everybody zoom in if you're watching right now on your phones. Zoom in because he has this huge zit on his forehead. He's covering up right now, but he will show off.
That's from Hey, you know what that's from? That's from the stress of the Vikings losing to the Lions.
The Vikings are not a good team, my friend.
That's what that's from, man. It's a stress pimple because I had to watch that game as a Vikings fan, and that was just. Oh, man.
All right, Beat the Spread. Answer this. Should you be worried if you are a Gonzaga fan right now?
You should.
Yeah.
You know what? Honestly, I was looking because I look at KenPom quite a bit. They still have them number one, which I don't necessarily know how you can say that. Sure, their offense is great, but I mean, one big thing that stood out with me with a lot of these top teams so far is that not only do they have a crazy offense like Gonzaga, but like Purdue. Purdue has a way better defense than Gonzaga. They're probably my number one. Houston, I wouldn't put them number one, but they're definitely a top three, I'd say. Elite defense as well. A lot of these top teams, Gonzaga just isn't doing it defensively, How many did Alabama put up on them? I think it was 90. I think they put up over 90. So, I mean, I think you should be worried if you're a Zags fan because you don't want to be giving up 90 points a game. It's hard to win games if you're giving up crazy numbers like that. So, I mean, I think I would be worried as a Gonzaga fan because there's some teams that are definitely better defensively.
All right, Dead Prez, I have a question for you, but before we get to that, I do want to reiterate the website is betkarma.com. I would say most of the tools, if not all of the betting tools on the website, are 100% free to use. So if you need to compare any of those props, any of those bets, any of the angles that you want to make sure that you have the best line or the best numbers, definitely go to betkarma.com. Again, most of the stuff on here is free. But if you subscribe to our YouTube channel today, you'll get some of the premium services for free for a full month. So definitely look into that. Yeah, right there, props comparison as well. All right, Des, we kind of talked about this a little bit on the side here. Memphis coming into the season had one of the better recruiting, years ever. They pulled Imani Bates, but they lost. They lost on Saturday to Ole Miss, 63-67. Should you be worried as a Memphis Tiger right now?
Yeah, for sure, AC. I mean, I thought coming into the year, I had them very overvalued as far as, being picked to win their conference. And, this is a classic Memphis team of the last couple of years, right? They get great recruits, but that doesn't mean anything if it doesn't translate, to the court. and they've continued to struggle, against an Ole Miss team. That line was fishy, though. I mean, I think that was kind of a sucker play for Memphis. But Memphis overall as a team, yeah, I think they're a tournament team. I don't think they're going to be a top 25 team for the majority of the year, because at the end of the day, they do have guys like Bates and some other really good young stars. But definitely would be a little worried if you're a Memphis fan. But I think this is the normal for Memphis fans.
Yeah, true. They've always been very talented, and they still haven't made the big dance. Maybe, I mean, it looks like they'll make it this year. But one thing I do want to reiterate is Amani Bates is 17 years old. He's still a baby, guys. He's only going to get better week in and week out. All right, one more game I want to touch on Sunday. Slam the Bookie. The only ranked team that was in action on Sunday was Arizona. They shellacked Oregon State 90-65. 90 is a lot of points. Is Arizona really this good, or is it just a really bad Oregon State team?
I think it's just a really bad Oregon State team, man. This Oregon State team is not what we saw last year in the tournament. They struggle offensively, and Arizona is kind of the real deal this year, man. I'm impressed by them, and they continue to roll on offense, and they play great defense. But I mean, I'm not very impressed with the win over Oregon State. They probably should have blown them out more, but Oregon State's just been playing bad. So we'll see how they do against Wyoming this next game. So
all right,
25 points isn't good enough for you.
No, yeah, right. Handy, let's get into tonight's slate. It's a smaller slate. There's a lot of smaller schools. But thank you again, everybody, for tuning in today for Ball Don't Lie. We do this a few times a week. Again, betkarma.com, best website in the world. Most of the tools there are going to be free. And if you're looking for a community, if you want to chat, if you want to talk, maybe you want to see other people who are into college basketball or anything like that, definitely check out betkarmachat.com. That's where our Discord lives as well. Okay, Handy, let's get into your favorite two bets of tonight.
All right. Well, the first bet for me tonight will be with some mid-majors. We got New Mexico and New Mexico State over 150. These guys just actually played November 30th, and they ended 195 points. So basically an NBA-style type of score. I'm expecting another very similar outing. I don't necessarily think that was an anomaly. It is the highest that they've both scored this year. But I think we're in to see kind of a similar type of game. New Mexico averages 83 points per game. New Mexico State averages 76.5. Those are two high-scoring, fast-paced offenses. And neither team really has a threatening defense. They're both bottom 100 in points per game allowed. So neither team loves to play D. They both just love to play kind of an NBA-style pace. New Mexico plays at the fourth fastest pace in the country. They average 15 seconds per possession. So, I mean, they just like to get down, put up their shot, and get back and basically just outscore, and that's how they're going to win. New Mexico has a great offense. They're led by Jalen House, and he racks up assists. He's a great point guard. They got a really good shooter in Jamal Mashburn. He has a 57% effective field goal rate. That's pretty damn good. So, I mean, New Mexico State, they're going to have to keep scoring with them, and I think they can. They have a very similar offensive style, and it's actually better. They're led by big man Will McNair. He is a beast inside the paint. He shoots 67% right now down low. So, I mean, he is just going off, and I think we're going to see a very similar style to what we saw in their last meeting. I mean, it's a pretty recent game. They put up almost 200 points. 6 of 8 of New Mexico's games have actually gone over 150 points this year. So I think we're in for a very similar style game. I don't know why you would necessarily take the under. But yeah, I'm just going to, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I think they're going to have a very similar game.
All right. Yeah, before we get into your second bet, let's move on to Slam. Beat the spread. You have a ton of information. I bet you got a lot of that from betkarma.com. So continue doing that. Slam, what's your favorite bet tonight?
All right. So Ben talked about the New Mexico State and New Mexico game. I actually like the side in this one. I look at the line. Line's a little weird. New Mexico did beat New Mexico State on the road the last time they played. Now New Mexico is favored by -4.5 on the road here. Like Ben said, both these teams are offensive powerhouses. They don't play any defense. What I noticed is New Mexico, the last game they played was probably a week ago, against New Mexico State. New Mexico just got a win a few days ago. So New Mexico hasn't played a game for almost a week here. And I can see New Mexico State coming out and, shutting these guys out, getting a little revenge spot here. I'm riding with this 4.5 line. I know since New Mexico just beat New Mexico State, public could be riding New Mexico at home here. Why not, man? The value is there for New Mexico, but I don't like it. I think New Mexico State comes out and makes a statement here in a revenge spot, and Teddy Allen has himself another good game. So take New Mexico State minus the 4.5.
New Mexico State minus 4.5.
And I also lean the over as well with Ben.
Yeah, the over is a sharp play to me, so I kind of like that with you guys. All right, Dead Prez, what about your best bet for tonight?
My best bet is New Mexico State first half under. So I'm going to be opposite of you guys here.
Everybody's on the same game.
All right, yeah, I see how it is.
Yeah, I'm gonna fade you guys on this one, just because like you said, they just played right. Everyone scored, and so now I think we're gonna see a letdown. That game, I mean, they shot the lights out. They scored almost 100 points in the first half. So it's honestly mostly just a big fade of the public play here, and everybody's going to be hammering the over. I like to sweat out an under here. I think the number's a bit too high. I took an under in the Purdue-Iowa game first half. So after I took that and it won, I feel like I'm invincible. I can beat any offense when a number is this high. So I'm going to ride the first half under in this game.
Yeah, right. And the line has dropped too in a way. So 153 all the way down to 150.
Yeah, it is continuing to drop. So I just think the number is a little too high, and I think maybe they do put up another performance like last time, but I'm going to take a chance on the under.
All right, for me, I'm going to go with Mercer tonight. They're on the road against Coastal Carolina. Coastal Carolina is not a bad team. They are 2.5-point favorites tonight at home on their home court. Coastal's sitting at 4-2. They're playing really well. They've covered, I think, 3 of the 6 games. So they're 3-3, not bad. One big advantage that Coastal has over Mercer is on the rebounding end. So if Mercer can kind of focus on that, box out, I think their offense is more than enough to not only cover the game, but potentially win. Again, one of my rules is if you're on a dog, you also believe that they're going to win straight up as well. And I think I am going to sprinkle a little bit on Mercer money line. They've won 3 straight games. They're playing really well. They've shot 54, 51, and 53% from the field in their last 3 games. So they are definitely shooting the ball really well. So I see that continuing tonight. As far as rest advantage, they both played Saturday night, so it's the same there. So give me Mercer tonight to potentially upset Coastal Carolina as pick number 1. All right, let's go back to Dead Prez for his second game, and then we'll go counterclockwise back up.
Yes, sir. Also, guys, if you have any comments, please feel free to drop them, on the Twitter or YouTube. But for me, AC, the next play I'm going to go with is Iowa tonight. I like them at -2.5, -3 some places. This is probably the best game of the night because it's kind of a small slate and not many top 25 teams. But I think this is a tough spot for Illinois on the road. We know Murray's status is still kind of clouded. He's questionable to go if he doesn't play. But I think Iowa's a lot better than I thought and a lot of people thought coming into the year. I mean, they were kind of preseason pick to finish middle of the pack towards the bottom of the Big Ten. But I mean, they bring back some experienced guys. Jordan Bohannon's been really good for them. Toussaint's been good. Murray might, be the biggest surprise to this point in the season. I mean, he's one of the top scorers in the country. So I think Iowa matches up well across the board. I do think he'll go based off this line. But I mean, they just played pretty toe-to-toe with Purdue, who I think is by far the best team in the country on the road without Murray in that game. So, I mean, this is a really good Iowa team. They're back at home tonight. Illinois, they've been very Jekyll and Hyde. I mean, you don't know what you're going to get with them. So fading them on the road tonight, I think is a good move. I do think Iowa will end up being a pretty heavy public play, but I do think ultimately they get it done tonight at the -2.5.
All right, Slam, before we get to you, I do want to talk about the website once again, betkarma.com. A lot of the tools on there are free. It's like 95% free. There's a lot of really, really awesome information, a lot of sharp stuff if you want to leverage. But if you go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube, Bet Karma YouTube, you're going to be, you could be entered to win a full month of the premium service at Bet Karma, which is going to get you even more information. Look at that, live trends, where to bet, a lot of promotions there as well. So definitely use this website to your advantage. I know it's one of my bookmarks, so I'm on there all the time, betkarma.com. And we have an NFL contest going on right now. It's going to be chosen at the end of the season. It's at thekarmacontest.com. That's thekarmacontest.com. Everyone check that out. All right, Slam, let's get into your best bet, your second best bet of the night.
All right, boys, second best bet. I'm actually on the same side as Dead here. Not a lot of plays today. So, I mean, like Dead said, it is one of the probably the best games of the night here. I'm riding with Iowa minus the 2.5. Yeah, Iowa does not turn over the ball a lot. They're number one in the nation in taking care of the ball. And Illinois, they played 3 great home games against okay teams. They got a good win against Rutgers in their last game. Pretty much blew them out. So it's good momentum there, but now they're going on the road against an Iowa team that's been actually pretty impressive to me.
Yeah.
I know I gave out Virginia the last 2 games, and Iowa kind of pulled away with the win there. And then Purdue looked like they were going to blow them out in the first half and then continue to roll. But this team showed fight. And then without Murray in the lineup, their top leading scorer, they were able to make it close in the second half against Purdue. I'm not sure if Murray will play, but I still like him with or without him. But 2.5, I like 2.5 Iowa to get it done here at home against Illinois.
All right, Ben, I have a question for you. So both Dead and Slam are on Iowa minus 2.5. Very short spread. I just want to hear what your thoughts are in terms of the money line versus playing that minus 2.5.
Yeah, so to me, in a game that's kind of tight like this, I actually don't think it'll be tight. I think it is a bit situational. The numbers I'd say tend to go towards taking the 2.5, like both of them did. The money line to me, what's going to happen is because around that 2.5 spread, you have like a minus 150 money line. It usually hovers around there. If you think about that in terms of if you play 2 minus 150 money lines and you lose both of them, you lost 3 units, right? And if you're playing 1 unit plays, that's essentially like you lost another play there. That's kind of how I like to think about it. Of course, it's not always perfectly accurate, but if you're playing minus 110 spreads, I tend to favor the spread because then you have a little bit more leeway to work with on losses. And the actual chance that the reason I laughed a little bit is because I actually did take Minnesota minus 2.5 instead of the money line, and they won, but by 1. But the actual chance, yeah, I know you did. But the actual chance that you win within that 2-point window isn't super high. So I guess it kind of depends situationally, because if you think it's going to be a closer game and you're like, all right, I'm going to stick with money line just to be safe. If there's some crazy 3 at the end to cover, then yeah, maybe you could take the money line. But as an overall long-term strategy, I tend toward taking the spread every time, just because the chances are lower that you're going to have that win without a cover. And you're essentially saving yourself a unit if you do lose, 2 of those.
Beautiful. All right, let's get into your Dead. You had your hand raised.
I love your respectful words. Yeah, but real quick to give a quick point on that, because Ben had a lot of good ones. For what I do, because you said that Minnesota game, like when there's 2 more defensive teams, I tend to lean more with like a money line, because like an Iowa Illinois type game, like I trust their offense. So if it's like a slower pace and possessions are limited, that's when I'll go money line versus spread. But you hit a lot of good points.
I agree with that. For sure. And that's part of the situationally thing. Like, what type of game do you see being played out?
The game flow. Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, my hand's down. I'm good.
All right, Ben, second best bet for you of the night.
All right, second bet for me tonight is going to be Towson, another small school who's surprised. Towson plus 6.5. I do think the money line is worth a sprinkle here, but I think they cover for sure. They're kind of a surprising team this year. They're 5-3 straight up. They're 6-2 against the spread. They've only lost to Pittsburgh by 4 and then they lost to San Francisco by 10. So 2 pretty close losses there against San Francisco is a pretty good team. So I mean, Towson in my mind is kind of reminds me of like their guard style of play is kind of like James Harden, where they draw a lot of fouls. They actually get 24% of their total points from the line. So they get quite a bit of their points from the free throw line. That's highly above the average of other D1 teams. So they score a lot with an aggressive offense. They're 22nd in the nation in offensive rebounding. So that kind of attributes to that aggressive style of offense where they really, they're not afraid to get their hands dirty. And so they get a ton of offensive boards, which leads to a ton of second chance points. And then they also go to the line a lot because of that aggression. On the flip side, Kent State is actually bottom 30th in the nation in offensive rebounds allowed. So they are almost oppositely aggressive on defense. They're not necessarily crashing the boards after a shot is up on offense. So I expect Towson to get a ton of second chance points tonight. Kent State also has a 22% turnover rate on offense. So almost every fifth possession, they're having a turnover. That's not going to help in a game where you're probably going to be out rebounded. So you got to think that Kent State is the better shooting team tonight. They'll probably have the better field goal percentage, but stylistically, when you look at it, Towson is going to most likely out rebound them, and most likely they're going to be ahead in the turnover ratio. So I mean, that's not a very good stylistic matchup for me on the end for Kent State. So I do think Towson's a good play here, plus 6.5. I think they moved to 7-2 on their Scorching ATS run.
And money line
small sprinkle on the money line.
Small sprinkle. All right. All right. Let's go to me. Before we get into the dog of the day, I'll do my second best pick, and it's going to be a total. You guys know I love college basketball totals. I'm going to go with Delaware State and Liberty under 126.5. That is so low, but I like it, man.
It's like a Virginia under.
Yeah, it's two teams that don't really score the ball very well. They average about 65 points each. But they actually turn the ball over a ton. Each of these guys turn the ball over more than they have assists. So that's a really bad sign to me as just a mediocre to below average offense. So I like the under in this game. As far as records are concerned, Delaware is 2-6, Liberty 4-3. Both of them are kind of mediocre against the spread. And the under has been eating for both of these teams all season long. So I see that trend continuing. All right, let's get into the dog of the day. Dead Press picks. I know you're on Iowa, but what's your favorite dog of the day?
Yeah, the dog of the day here, boys. I like San Jose State as a dog. They've been pretty good to me, when I've bet on them as dogs outright. This is just a young Pepperdine team.
I like it.
So, yeah, I mean, I think that overall they're being a little overvalued here at minus, 4.5 or 5. So I'm going to take a shot, guys, here on the money line, throw some peanuts. I got it like plus 170, 185. If you guys want to search around too, use the tool on betcarmen.com. You'll find, the best line available. So there's going to be a lot of good lines available tonight for this game, but plus 175, 180 range is kind of what I'm looking at. So I'm going to take a swing here, guys, on San Jose State against Pepperdine.
Slam the bookie. Woof, woof. What's the dog of the day for you?
All right, man. Mr. Ben here convinced me. I'm on Towson money line. I like them to cover and win. They play well defensively. And Kent State's kind of they've been playing great. But
just no competition.
I think they're gonna. Yeah, but I mean, no competition, and I think Towson will give them some problems on the defensive end, and I like them to be active dogs today.
That total's low too, isn't it, for like a Kent State game? It's only 130, 131.
Yeah,
I think it's a pretty low.
They're definitely more of an offensive team,
Yeah.
With those turnovers.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm. Ben, what's your dog of the day? Is it going to be Towson, or do you have another sneak peek for us?
It's going to be Towson. Yeah, I think they're the best value, at least, because there are some. If we're talking about money lines now, I think they're the best money line dog of the day, just because they're hovering around plus 215. I think it depends on the book, but they're hovering around there. That's a good line for me on a team that for exactly the reason I just said in the breakdown, style of play. I expect a lot of turnovers, Kent State, and a lot of offensive rebounds for Towson. So yeah, I think.
All right, guys, I'm gonna go out on the limb here. I know it's just the dog of the day, but give me Alcorn State plus 33 money
I actually
line.
like that.
Yeah, money
I was
line.
just looking at that game.
Right?
Yep.
Why not?
30,
Why not
right.
put some? Why not put some peanuts on there? Some
What is the
sweet-
money line right now?
I have
what is
no
the
idea.
money
It's
line
probably
right
like
now?
plus,
It's not even
I don't know if
up.
it's available. Yeah, it's not.
Wait,
it's
hold on,
not
hold on.
listed.
probably like
Oh yeah, it's
5,000 or something.
plus 1,600.
Oh, that's not enough.
Why not,
That's
right?
not enough. I need it.
Wait,
I need
you know-
it more. I need it more.
Disrespectful line. Disrespectful money line.
You know what's kind of like a funny bet? Our boy Joe's picks used to love these in baseball, like team to score first. Like, I mean, I this is not like the best line, but Houston's only like minus 165 to get the first basket. It's not like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna ask Joe actually. If not, it'll just be a bad beat.
It's just a bad beat. Alcorn's
Yeah.
gonna throw up some 40-foot three first possession. It's just gonna go in.
Just drain it.
Yeah.
Beautiful. All right, guys,
Or-
let's go ahead and close it out. Oh, Handy Ben, did you have something to say?
Well, all I was gonna say is, if you're gonna go out on a limb there, you might as well go Alcorn State money line with Texas Southern money line. Yeah,
Oh, I
what was that
love
gonna be
it.
like?
I love it.
Plus-
I think that pimple on your forehead is giving you the clarity you need to see. I love it. I love it.
Hey,
All right,
if the
let's
Lions
close it
could
out,
win this
guys.
weekend, anyone can.
Dog.
Karma Nation, thank you so much for joining us. Again, we do this a few times every week. We break down college basketball, last night's slate, and then we preview tonight's slate. Check out our website, betkarma.com. It is the best website when you're looking to betting, sports, finding angles, comparing other books. I think it's the best for benchmark that you should use. Almost everything on this website is free. All the tools are awesome. But if you want to get the premium service, just give our YouTube a subscription. Just hit the subscribe button and you'll be entered into our giveaway for a free month of premium service. Again, check us out on betkarmachat.com if you want to join our Discord. Thank you so much, Karma Nation. Everyone, have a good night.